You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction and soul. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Naomi Slater, and you have tuned in to Divine Couples, adding intimacy, passion, and healing to your lives. Kathrine and Serg are a hot, intimate, playful couple. They are both French, adventurers, and athletes. Kathrine studied business and marketing and moved to New York in 1988. Serg graduated from a French engineering school and was working offshore. They met while windsurfing on the bay in Miami and have been together since. 7 years into the relationship, their connection was suffering from stress, fatigue, work, and routine. In 2007, they left their home, friends, and work to start a 3-year trip around the world with their 2 children, who were 2 and 5 years old at the time. They were on a journey to improve the intimacy in their relationship. They first discovered Tantra in California and learned new ways to communicate, resolve conflicts, heal, give, and receive, and keep the fun and passion alive. Since then, they created Hiptantra and have been coaching couples and teaching hot, intimate, and playful Tantra all over the world. They are celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary this year. So great to have you on Divine Couples, Kathrine and Serg. How are you?
Hi, Naomi. Thank you so much for having us today. We are very excited and we are doing amazing.
Thank you, Naomi.
My pleasure. So happy to have you both. So let's just dive in. How have you both been dealing with this confinement?
Well, first of all, our heart goes to all the people that have been suffering around the world. And but on our side, we have been very blessed because we have a house, we're in Miami, we have a garden, and locked down with the family. So it's actually been an interesting journey to focus on the family, to focus on our relationship, and diving deep.
It actually reminds us of our adventure of 2007 when we left and we were for so long 24/7 in an RV or in small residences around the world. We had to deal with something that is similar to what's happening now, with family having to stay together 24/7 or nearly 24/7.
Well, we also, in a normal life, we have a lot of distractions, and when issues come up, we may run away from them with work, and, parties or movies. We are here. It's we've made the effort to really connect on a deeper level, and it's been amazing.
And also, it forced us to, on a business level, it forced us to go online, and we will talk probably later about that. But it has been a very important thing for Hiptantra. So a lot of good things, despite the horrible impact on the people. But hopefully, good things will come from it.
You guys are in a good situation because you're tantric practitioners, and you have a tremendous amount of tools to deal with, being in confinement, in terms of you being in a relationship and not having any space. I know that you both have a tremendous amount of tools to be able to deal with that. Many people don't have those tools. So let's kind of get a bit more into the details. You've been together for a long time. You're celebrating your 20th wedding anniversary this year. How do you deal with decreased passion in your relationship?
Well, that's a very good question. I must say that when we first met, of course, the passion was bubbly and the chemistry was there. And I think it is a normal thing that after a while the passion dies because of the routine, and we get bored and we get used to each other. And when we found Tantra, I think that's been the key to get our passion not only alive, but even increasing with the years. And I don't know where we're going, but it just gets better and better definitely keeps us very young.
Absolutely.
So, you want to say something about
Yeah,
how we deal with our passion?
decreasing passion was really true until we really practiced tantra, and now it's every day we focus on something beautiful and important in our relationship. So the passion has changed. Probably we're not as young as we were 20 years ago, may not do the same crazy things, but we are playing together and playing in many different ways, which is
In
a
very,
new way of being passionate.
very creative. We use passion through creativity also, and through intimacy.
That's amazing. That is really, really fantastic that you've been able to maintain that after having been together for so long. You are an inspiration. Can
Thank
you
you.
tell us a bit about how you got into Tantra?
Absolutely. For me, after the birth of our second child, I felt a real disconnect with my body and a lack of desire. Making love with my husband was actually difficult because of a painful birth, and I had to find a solution. My husband was not so much aware of it as much as I was, and I knew I loved him so much, and I loved our family. I had to find a solution, and went to regular therapy, tried different things, which were important tools. But then little by little, we got led into Tantra, which was actually, the first class was in Hawaii. And it was such mind-blowing for me. Just one session completely transformed me and made me understand a lot about myself, about my body, and that I am my own best lover. So everything shifted after that with us.
Serge, what do you have anything to add to that experience about getting into Tantra?
Yeah, me, I was kind of pulled in it because I'm a guy. I was convinced that things will improve with the time, and no big deal. Yes, it could be better, but it could be worse, right? And definitely, Kathrine organized the first session and the second session, and really the connection came back from the first session. So I was already not yet convinced, but yeah, it may be worth the money, and yeah, I'm sure we can do better. And
yeah,
yes,
the men are usually slower to warm up. I know that. I actually had the opposite experience, but I know that a lot of times it takes the men a bit longer to kind of get pulled in.
Yes.
And second session was as incredible as the first one, and then I was convinced, and then I think we've been learning and practicing together, and it has been fantastic for us.
I would like to add that a lot of times, and I see that with our clients, only one partner in the couple is ready to do the work and is really feeling it from inside, this desire for something more. And it's okay. And one person reaches out, and then we bring the partner in. It can be scary for the partner. So on my case, I'm the one who organized it, paid for it, and I knew that's what we needed, and I just invited him, and I said, please try, just come one time. But after I experienced it myself, and I said, give him a chance in a loving way, not forcing it onto him, but more inviting
him in. That's beautiful. And I think that's also super important for people to hear, that you don't need to have two partners that are, totally gung-ho about going into this. It's completely natural to have, one who's kind of pulling more and the other gets invited in and transforms through that. So that's really beautiful. I'd like to ask you how Tantra has changed your relationship.
Well, it changed our relationship in so many ways. It's difficult to enumerate all of them, but I would say the first thing is that through Hiptantra, we grounded ourselves. We are more conscious of the energy that appears between people. We connect more with people, with sexual energy too. So it really changed the way I feel about myself. It changed the way I listen to my partner, and I really actually try to meet her needs. So I'm more listening, I'm more connected, and things go much more easier.
And it brings a lot of presence. I would say that it's a lifestyle. No, it's not just a practice. It's become our lifestyle, and we integrate in everything we do, pretty much. And we cook when we're in the kitchen, when we do sports, and when we interact with the family. So it has changed not just our relationship, but all of our relationships. Bringing a lot more aliveness and joy and laughter and pleasure, and taking more pleasure in everything we do. So obviously our relationship, we have a lot more closeness.
I want to add another thing. Tantra and Hiptantra also bring a different view on sexual relation, actually. I mean, intercourse, you learn to control, the man learn to control himself much more, the woman maybe learn to be more receptive, to express her needs, etc. So it has completely changed our time in the bedroom or in the bed. I mean, love has become a real communion between us, and we have now a level of intimacy that is far better than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we didn't know that much about Tantra.
That is so beautiful. You're very lucky. So when a couple comes to you for a session, how do you help them?
Well, first of all, before they come for the session, we have a discovery call with them where we ask some questions and find out the needs, the blocks, and identify how we can help them. And like I said, a lot of times just one person joining in, and either me or Serge or both of us together. That's also working as a couple offers advantages like that. And then we establish an individualized program according to the needs. And what do we do?
Well, generally the first and most important part in a relationship in love is love for yourself, self-esteem. Many couples have problems with communication, with intimacy, with have sexual issues too, and self-esteem. And self-esteem is probably the most important one. So at the beginning, we will ground the person, do some breathing techniques, breathing exercise to bring the person in the present, now, here. And then we will find some exercise that are best for the couple. Maybe if they have problem of communication, we will ask them to tell each other the three reason why you love your partner. Express or whisper 3 things that you love in your partner, words of appreciation. Or it may be just connecting with